Hi everyone. I'm actually here recording at my dad's house because my house is filled with noise. So I come here once a week to help him out and clean, so everything is clean. Um, Before I came to sit down and record this, hands are clean and everything. I know these times are ridiculous and hard and scary and uncertain. So I wanted to just write a little blog post about a couple of different herbs that can help cool these anxious and very scary, worrisome times, just in case you're going through things. And of course, as of right now, it is hard to get a hold of a lot of different herbs. I know Mountain Rose is very backed up, Amazon is very backed up, and also to ordering packages puts the workers and also your own households at risk as well. So maybe you have some of these things, maybe you don't, and if not, at least you can be prepared um, for times to come. But a couple of these herbs that I'd like to mention, you can actually get pretty much anywhere. They probably even have it at the grocery store, and you can start growing inside to help you out. So let's get into it. So I did want to mention, and I'm going to do a separate blog post on this another time, but since I have halved my caffeine, um, more than halved, so I was doing, I think like 6 to 9 scoops of organic coffee in a 12-ounce pot, and I was drinking half of that, if not more, a day. And I used to drink a lot more when I was younger as well. So now I'm only putting 3 scoops of organic coffee and 3 scoops of chicory root. But I do have to say and mention that my anxiety has gone way, way, way down. Um, and something I'd like to talk about is because caffeine, or coffee, excuse me, coffee, it's not so much caffeine. This is what I heard from a Chinese herbalist, is it's not so much the caffeine that causes heat in the body, but it is coffee that causes heat in the body. So when you're going through an already stressful period in your life, adding more heat into the body, which you can also be adding into the body through meat and through a lot of dairy products. Even onions and garlic and cinnamon are very warming. So if you're already going through a heat period of time, you want to add things that cool the body down. So we're going to be talking about some herbs, but coffee is a very big one because you can get caffeine from green tea, and that's more so cooling, but coffee itself adds more heat to the body. So just be aware of that, and obviously now might be a harder time to quit caffeine, and I do want to do a different blog post on that because I had extremely horrible withdrawal symptoms and I'm not completely off of it. So let's talk about some herbs that aid in cooling the body. Um, Two first things to mention, milk thistle and dandelion root. They actually work to support the liver. And when you find yourself not being able to bend, not being able to express creativity freely, not feeling inspired or motivated, and you're in like this down period of time, or you have a lot of anger, especially pent up anger, you want to be working with the liver. And what these two herbs do is work to protect and support the liver and also assist in regeneration of cells. So these are two great things, or anything that's going to help you out with your liver. Those are two great things that you can try. And depending on where you are in the world right now, if it's a little bit warmer, I have already noticed some weeds popping up. So you can actually go in find some dandelions and just pluck out the roots and dry them and use them in a tea. So that's something that you can find, as long as it's not in a place that has a lot of like cars driving around, or if you know like dogs are peeing on it, you probably don't want to use those. But these herbs also help with removing toxins from the body, and it helps with acid reflux and gas and bloating. So definitely consider those herbs. Another couple that are more readily available is peppermint is one of them. It actually improves our digestive health and decreases indigestion. So why this is great is a lot of the times chronic inflammation will start from heat within the digestive tract, because we're eating all these complex foods that are hard to digest. Antibiotics end up overwhelming our digestive tract with it kills off the beneficial bacteria in there. So a lot of the times, the root cause of the problem, I want to say, of course, is yes, stress, but also starts with your digestive tract. So peppermint is great to start that healing process, to start to improve digestion of your food. So that's a great thing that you can take, and it's very readily accessible. You can get peppermint tea at any supermarket or during your next trip. Finally, another thing that's very accessible is lemon fruit. So obviously, I'm sure you have heard it before, having lemon juice in your water with room temperature water or warm water can aid greatly with digestion, and it also benefits your kidneys, which is the house of fear when out of balance. And this is a very scary time, so you want to definitely support your kidneys, but also it helps the liver too, okay? So we want to be supporting our bodies in order to cool. When we have these elimination organs struggling, to release out toxins, but also stored emotions as well, you really want to be supporting them, especially during this very scary time. And lemon also boosts the immune system, so we can all use some of that right now. If you need to tackle nerves, like right off the bat, the first thing I would suggest, and just make sure you check with your doctor, and I know that there are some medications that valerian root actually counteracts or doesn't support. So just make sure, obviously, with a medical practitioner before you're taking this, and you don't want to be taking valerian root while driving or operating or any situation where it could be used as a sedative, because it is. So I made a valerian root tincture because it tastes pretty horrible, I'm not going to lie. So I made a tincture, and I was having a really rough day. This was a couple of months ago, and I felt a panic attack coming on. So I took a squirt of valerian root tincture, and within 5 minutes, I swear to God, like everything just calmed. It just felt like that potential that I was going to have, like that build up to an anxiety attack. I was still like thinking those thoughts with my mind, but it was almost like my body wasn't allowing me to go there. So valerian root is very great, but it is also a warming herb, but it can be used, I use as needed. So if you are like feeling one of those times coming on, you can take a squirt of valerian root tincture, and things, I found just completely calmed. And that's because it does completely calm the nerves. But you don't want to be taking this all of the time, because it is a warming herb, and like I said, we're in a very heat period right now. Catnip is also great. I have used this. It's a great sleep aid. So you want to probably be taking this prior to bed. It helps with restlessness, with nervousness, anxiety, and stress. So again, this can be a sedative, so you don't want to be taking this like during the day. I would take catnip closer to bed. help you fall asleep so you're not up all night worrying. And again, with caffeine, in general, not just coffee, but with caffeine, I was reading another book, and basically he said, the author, I forget what the book is called, but the premise was, if you drink any caffeine, I think after 12 p.m., he said it actually stays in your body while you are sleeping. So because of that, you might feel or think like you're getting good quality sleep, but because the caffeine is in your system, you're actually not getting as good of quality as you would have thought because it's a stimulant. So then you wake up the next day and you're tired, and it's like a vicious cycle. So then you reach for more caffeine, which then stays into your body the next night, and you're not getting that good quality sleep consistently. Consistently. So what happens from there is you lack that good quality sleep for extended periods of time, and then that creates heat in the body, and then that's grounds for chronic heat, which creates disease. So it's very freaking scary. Because we all, at least in New England, our slogan for Dunkin' Donuts is American runs off Dunkin's, and like we literally do. Like I literally did for a very long time, and it was only within my more recent years that I stopped drinking coffee from fast food places. And like I said, I'm going to do a whole different blog post on that, and I'll give you the complete lowdown on caffeine. But let's move on to the next two herbs. So rosemary is another great one for calming the nerves, for stress. This is, again, readily accessible. You can use this as a loose leaf tea. They also have these teas in the supermarkets. But so along with kind of cooling the nerves and cooling the anxiety, it actually helps promote happiness and focus and boost your memory and alertness as well. So rosemary is a great herb. This is something that you can plant. The next one is lemon balm. So I actually have this in my garden. It hasn't popped up yet, but it improves the mood, it cools the body, it promotes cognitive function, it helps to relieve stress and anxiety, and also helps with indigestion as well. Again, creating less heat in the body. So these are just a couple of different herbs. There's so many of them out there, but I wanted to just name a couple that would probably be something you could pick up at the supermarket. And if you are drinking tea, you need to be drinking it if it is something that can be taken for a long time. So we're talking about the lemon balm, the peppermint, the rosemary, those type of teas. If you want them to actually start to improve your body, you need to be taking them 3 to 5 times a day. So 3 to 5 cups of tea of these herbs per day, or you can make a couple of different recipes with them combined. I did provide a couple of different recipes in the blog post. So if you're watching anywhere else, go into the blog post. There are a couple of different recipes that I have tried from the Sacred Science website. So I provided those on there. And another herb I just want to mention quickly that I didn't mention in the blog post, but it is in the recipe, is hawthorne. So I have been taking that lately because I've been really learning about hormones, especially with women, and how prevalent breast cancer and heart disease is, because we have like I said, we have this chronic stress that creates chronic heat, and we're eating foods that we aren't able to digest, which creates more heat in the body, and then all of a sudden, it starts to put a toll on our heart, and we wonder why we end up with heart disease. And hawthorn is a great herb to actually support the heart, digestion, and circulation. And when I took an herbology course from, I forget where I took it from. It might have been the Herbal Academy or something. But you can take this herb long term, is what I had read, and it just benefits you. And there's the only people that can't take it, I think, are people on high blood pressure medication. So again, ask your doctor about this. But hawthorn, do your research on it. It's a great herb. I should do, I'll do a different blog post on that maybe next time, because I think that we all need some heart support, especially right now, but then when things go back to normal too, because we live in such a fast-paced society. So a couple of practices to calm the nerves. I find if I'm close to getting an attack of like anxiety, or I just feel like I can't take it anymore, putting both of my hands on my heart and then just taking some deep breaths, but like really, really, really big ones, kind of slow, like 5 to 10 times, and just telling myself it's going to be okay, everything's going to be okay. That really helps. Alternative nostril breathing is also great. So you'd put your right thumb over your left nostril, and you inhale. And then you can exhale. And then you inhale. All the way in and exhale. And if you can do that for 5 minutes a day, that's going to greatly lessen your stress. And another thing too is obviously keeping organized and not feeling frustrated in your home. So again, I am having a sale on my decluttering course on Udemy, and instead of it being $100, I'm having a sale for $9.99. So you can get that if you want to go through your kitchen, your wardrobe, and your bathroom products, as well as I have a whole module on non-toxic products in the home. So there's a lot of recipes on there for things that you can make yourself, things that you can clean your home with, especially now, like all of the antiviral, antibacterial products are being bought up. So in this course, I actually teach you how to make your own. And one last thing I would like to say that I didn't add in the blog post is walking outside. So in another book that I was reading, again talking about heart disease, especially with women, is if you walk at a brisk pace, so I believe it was 30 minutes or less per mile. So ideally you want to get to like the 20-minute mile walking. If you can do this 3 to 5 hours per week, you're going to take your chances of having heart disease or heart attack, and it will become 50% less because you are doing that. And this is just walking. And again, why this is, as opposed to other types of exercise. Of course, yoga is good. Of course, cardio is good. Of course, weightlifting is good. But during these times of stress, sometimes working out the body too much for over 30 minutes a day actually creates stress on your body, even though it's making you feel good and even though it's healthy for you. During these types of times when we're having such a toll on ourselves and a toll on our bodies, you want to be doing things like yoga and walking to support yourself, but also, it's not creating more stress or more cortisol or more adrenaline in the body. So again, I hope that these things have helped. I will put the links to the blog post and to my online course if you feel called to purchase that and partake during this stay-at-home time. So I hope that this has helped. You can put in the comments anything else that you use for your anxiety. There are, of course, a lot of flower essences, but I mentioned that more so in different blog posts from the past. I can put a link to those below if you'd like to check out some flower essences for stress and anxiety. But I hope that this has helped. Stay safe, and I will be seeing you guys soon.